Hey YouTube, it's Luke Salter. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to make a Daredevil cowl. So the first step in making the mask, after all the pieces are printed out, is to plastic weld the mask together. Compared to last time when I made my Batman mask, I wanted to try plastic welding, see how that compared to super glue, since the walls were thinner than the Batman mask was, so I was just trying to see how that worked out. And it worked out really good. The method I was using was this flat tip for my soldering iron, and I would kind of just tap it real quick and get little spots welded together, and then come in and just kind of fill it in with itself, and come with extra PLA that I had and just melded that onto it too. It really just made it nice and strong connections. After all the pieces are welded together and it's one whole mask, I started to sand it down with a little palm detail sander. I got this sander from Harbor Freight for 20 something bucks. Did the little modifications so I use it with my DeWalt batteries, and I was able to use it. I just worked up my grits from 80, 120, 200-ish. After I sanded down the mask, I filled it in with a 2-in-1 primer and filler, and I went again and sanded again to make sure all the spots are smooth. Filled it and sanded it and did that process a couple times. After I sprayed it and sanded it, I came in with a Bondo spot and glazing putty, I'm pretty sure is the name, and went over it and make sure I got all these seam lines where I didn't weld it the best. If I was probably better at that, I would have to do this a little bit less. And I just filled in those lines and came over that again, with sanded it, sprayed it, sanded it, just to make sure I got the right finish I wanted. After the helmet is filled and primed to how you like it, I just came in with a red spray paint process for the helmet was pretty similar to how I've done it before. It's pretty much just black shoe polish on a segment of the helmet, and I dab it off with a paper towel. I don't wipe it, I dab it, because when you wipe it, it looks weird, but when you dab it, it gives it a cool look and texture to it, as well as just looking dirty. So I like that. And I just did it in different sections of the helmet, so when it does, if it looks slightly off from section to section, you won't really notice it. But I was able to be pretty good about it, and you obviously couldn't notice it. After I went over the helmet with shoe polish, I came in with some rub and buff, and I just went over certain areas of the mask. If someone was really wearing it, it would get dinged up a lot, so that's where you can really see the metallic sheen in the mask. Places like the eyebrows, the horns, side of the head, in the back plate, since it is 2 different segments, I decided to do it on the little joint as well, so it really looks like someone's taking this on and off a lot. And it just gives it the extra depth of realism. It's like, oh, this is really lived in, this is a real prop, and it looks really good. So I got these reflective sunglasses at what's it called, the dollar store. It was like $1.25, and my plan here is just I'm gonna take the sides off and separate them to just the lenses, and I'm gonna layer this with some of this binder separators to give it that red reflective look without having to spend a ton of money. Making the helmet and testing it out, going to take pictures, I realized in hindsight I probably could have done the eyes a little bit differently. So I took one of the eyes out to test out my idea. It is really just, instead of cutting the lenses out of the glasses, just popping them out real quick and then putting the red film over it, and it looks pretty good. It looks the same from the outside perspective. From the inside, it gives you a little bit more room, and so it's not just like poking into your eye socket, I guess. As you can see, it's not fully flush with the eye in here. I didn't want to heat up the lens too much and fold it and mess up the chrome film that's on there right now, so I decided that was good enough for me, and it still turned out pretty good. For the back segment, instead of doing it with magnets, like how I did with the Batman helmet, I decided to do it with elastic straps. That really just makes sure when I take it off and put it back together, it still stays close, but it isn't stretching so much that it's just going to take itself apart. And that was really important. But this worked out really well. It stays on my head a lot better than how the Batman mask did. I'm just really happy how this turned out. happy how the mask turned out. You can see I showed it a little bit earlier with just showing the eyes real quick, but it turned out really good in my opinion. I liked how it came out. I could have scaled it up a little bit more for my head. I realized that as I was wearing it a bit, but it became pretty easy to put on. So with the straps, they're like this. How you put it on is you put your back here first, pull it, and then drop it down. So I'll show you. Back, pull, drop. And I only have one of the eyes fixed. So this one's bulging into my eye socket a bit, and this one's not. It's also a little too small, so it kind of goes up on my head instead of like sitting down into it. And I'm obviously not wearing the little balaclava, however it's pronounced, so you can see my ears and stuff, and that looks weird, but other than that, I can see fine out of it, and I really do like how it turned out. Little details around, I think it really just makes it pop, makes it look really good. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please like, comment, subscribe.